And it says it's recording. Good. Welcome to Matrix Talk on this 16th day of August 2023. And we're going to do a little pro-social. We call this sorting out the pro-social matrix, but we're going to do a little bit of that. First of all, do not forget, click the green button and purchase a course.
Please.
Please. It helps us out immensely if you purchase one of those courses that you see listed right on the screen. Introductory ACT training, ACT for depression, The biggie, the one that you will not see anywhere else on this universe is the ACT as pattern recognition. And that's only $19.95. So if you want to go and say, wow, that's the one. So we highly recommend that one. But take them all. Why not? You get 9, 12, 15, 18.
Oh, your credits here.
Get yourself 19 CEs.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's a very good amount for CEs for anybody.
Well, I'm about halfway there. About for all.
Yeah, absolutely. In my state, you're more than halfway there.
Yeah. So you can also follow us somewhere in the upper right. And if you join us, you can. Oh, we do have some people here.
Yeah, a couple of people.
Hey, hello, Holly. Hello. Oh, John Listino's here. Wow.
Hello, John.
In the lower right, there's a chat. And Phil and I have already chatted. He's saying greetings and hello. And Holly says, hi. Where are you from, Holly? North Dakota.
Oh, she's still in North Dakota.
I mean, I hear Holly's in North Dakota, so I'm talking to my wife and her colleague that she works with. She's also a psychologist. And she says, yep, he's out in, drum roll, North Dakota. I went, oh my God. First there's North Dakota on my Crowdcast, and now I got a friend of mine's out in North Dakota.
Oh, she wants to know who's that. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, you probably know him. And there's John, still in South Jersey.
3 people in North Dakota.
Yeah, 3 people in North Dakota. This guy and somebody else.
Someday,
not John, who's still in South Jersey.
Someday I might make it to North Dakota. But I haven't even made it to South Dakota. So. This psychologist.
Oh, yeah. See, there you go. You do probably know him.
I'll have to find out. I don't know. What are we doing, Phil? Oh, we're about to do
a pro-social matrix, I think, Kevin.
Yes. Okay. And so we'll preamble this just a little bit. Just a little. Oh, 5 people on. Oh, Jasmine's on. Hey, Jasmine, we saw that you bought the pattern ACT as pattern recognition course. Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No, I don't. Oh, there's stop sharing. I forget. I'm going to make Phil bigger so we can show off. So if we're sorting out the pro-social matrix, why in the world are we doing that? Because usually when Phil and I teach this, let's say we're in teaching students in the dojo. We call it the dojo.
In the dojo.
We say, okay, here you go. This is how you start. Ready? And the people, yeah. I'm going to show you something. Is it okay if I show you a point of view? And people go,
since I'm here in a dojo, yeah, why not?
Why not? And you go, great. Here it is. It's got these cross lines. So if you look close, you can see there's senses up at the top and mind at the bottom, and contentment over to the right and relief over to the left. Great. But in the lower right is particularly important because you see the question, who's important to you? Well, we all answer that question, who's important? I can answer for myself. My wife is important to me. And anybody here, John or Holly or Jasmine's here, could answer who's important to you.
I have my nieces are with me today. I have my nieces today.
You've got some nieces, twin nieces. They're very
Two of them, twins.
the twins. Yeah. Well, Holly's got a son.
Oh, say,
So there's at
son.
least 2 people there in North Dakota.
There we go.
So,
And the
so
psychologist.
and so there we go. We got who's important in the lower right. Great. Now the yucky stuff goes in the lower left. That's where we put yucky stuff, like fear. You go along and I don't know, something happens that scares you, and you go, that doesn't feel good, right? Our 2 new twins too. Damn. Okay.
Oh, you got more twins.
A lot of twins running around.
Twins times 2. That's 4 of them.
So, fear in the lower left. There's other stuff that goes down there. People that don't.
Disagreement with parenting him. Oh, there we go. Disagreement.
Oh,
A parenting disagreement. Ooh, a special disagreement.
disagreement. Those are yucky. And then you hit the rest of the hit parade, anxiety, depression, that kind of yucky stuff that shows pain. Pain's a biggie. That shows up in the lower left. And then we go to the upper left, and this is where we put behaviors. Everywhere at the top of the matrix there, the diagram there, is behaviors. And so, like for fear, you might run. And that's a behavior. And if it works, you get relief. Yay. That's what we mean. Yucky stuff shows up, you do an evasive maneuver, and it works, and you get relief. Yay. For instance, you get a headache. You go take you something, Tylenol or something.
Ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen or whatever, and it works, and the headache goes away. You go, cool.
Okay, so Holly's going with arguing and yelling. I'm going, guessing.
Yeah, that works too. That's gonna work in for disagreements for sure. So there's this people do all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's like absolutely part of life to have yucky stuff show up, and you do avoidance, relief moves. And finally, in the upper right, that's where we put the stuff where we approach satisfaction with our loved ones, people who are important to us. So we put those behaviors in the upper right. For instance, for my wife, I might go talk to her. Right? That's simple, nice, simple behavior. And I was just talking to her right before we came up here, and it was very satisfying and leading me toward contentment. So see, now where do we got nieces? What are we going to
we're going to go get some ice cream.
Yeah, I mean, you got to admit, nieces and ice cream, that's
they
a
go together like
that's a winning combination right there. That's going to get some satisfaction going on that. Oh, Holly says, because dang it, I'm right and he's wrong.
Yeah, that's what the arguing and the yelling's all about, right? Well, of course.
Yep. That's the way it works. So now you see, and the point is, of course, and the point is, of course, is that you can notice all this stuff in your daily life. You can notice who's important to you, and you can notice yucky stuff showing up, and you can notice yourself as you do relief moves, and you can notice yourself as you do satisfaction moves. Yay! And that's it. That's notice. Now but that's the noticing of the self.
Me.
Right. Now I was joking around the other day, and I was calling that the narcissistic matrix.
Oh yeah, let's call this the narcissistic.
That's where we all get to write down our stuff and look at our own picture and be narcissistic about it. It's all about me, right?
Loop.
The narcissistic loop.
There it is.
We're having fun. So, but we don't stop with that. We then say, okay, there's another loop to do.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more, yes. And this one starts, everything stays the same except for the lower right question. And the lower right question is, what's our shared purpose. What are we in this together for? What are we moving toward? Whatever. What are we trying to achieve? And that, of course, depends on who's you and who else you're with, right? But that's a question that doesn't get brought up a lot, and needs to be brought up. Actually, to make things workable, it needs to be brought up, because we humans tend to forget what our shared purposes are.
Zips right by us.
It just does. Why? Because of the narcissistic matrix.
This little sucker over here.
We get caught up in that stuff and we forget about, oh yeah, there's other people, and I
There is
need.
another person here, or persons.
And just because you have the one, you'll there's precious few humans who don't have someone they know. They know somebody, and they have a shared purpose with that person. Now, technically speaking, even if you don't, you still have shared purposes. Is a great example of strangers on the bus. Well, all the strangers on the bus have a shared purpose. Just think about it. Oh yeah, they would like to cooperate so they get to their destination, right? So if you got rabble rousers busting up the bus, beating on the bus driver or whatever and stuff, well, that's it's going to muck up the works, right? That's not going to work for the shared purpose. So there's always these shared purposes around. Right now we have lots of politics flying around. Well, in the United States, because you were born here, you have the shared purpose of upholding the Constitution of the United States.
Oh, let's put that down.
It's just there. You were born here, and so you don't have you're not upholding whatever they have in Britain or whatever they have in Argentina or whatever. Just by the natural fact you weren't born there, you were born here. So that kind of stuff is always floating around, and you'll go, oh yeah, part of me and being a citizen is upholding the Constitution. Wow, cool. And then you think I'm kidding, but if you go to where Phil lives, and Phil next to Philadelphia,
Right down the street.
and go to the museum where
U.S. Constitution Center.
yeah, and you'll go, wow. You'll be reminded.
You get it. You get it.
You'll,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
It all began right here.
yeah, and it sort of impacts you. Oh yeah, I'm part of this.
Yeah. Connected.
And then it's like, well, how'd you get connected? Well, you were just born here. That's just the nature of it.
I'm connected because I'm here.
So anyway, so we always get this pro-social stuff going. And it's a good idea to pause and contemplate on that a bit. And if you're part of a team, you need to review what the shared purposes are of the team. If you're in a couple and doing parenting, good idea to review that every once in a while.
Yep.
Because the loss of shared purpose is bad when it comes to two or more people working together. I got to thinking about this. I was reading the indictment on the RICO indictment out of
the latest indictment.
the latest one, which is a RICO indictment. Well, it was like funny that somebody was saying, well, in order to have a RICO, you got to have more than one person. You got to have two people. And I immediately went to, oh, they had a shared purpose.
Yeah.
Which, if you read it, that's
up.
exactly it.
Yep.
That's the whole idea of the RICO.
Yep.
Now they had, according to the RICO, an illegal shared purpose, but still they had a shared purpose. So, funny how people can come together, even if like
Yeah.
the original RICOs were done for the mob, right? Well,
Yep.
the mob had a shared purpose.
Racketeering.
Racketeering, right? So So anyway, whether you be anywhere in a school, in a relationship, in a job, in a mob,
Yeah. Mob or a mob.
you you have a shared purpose, right? And so you review those things. Now, in the lower left, there's stuff that can show up and get in the way, emotional stuff that can show up. Now, fear is still the number one. It's absolute numero uno. So, but there's other stuff. Jealousy is a biggie.
Yep. Fear.
That's really represented in Oppenheimer, the movie Oppenheimer. Jealousy is a huge part of the end of the movie. I'm not going to spoil the movie, but if you watch it, watch for the jealousy to show up. And once again, it's tough to be jealous of just yourself.
It takes two for jealousy.
Usually, you need to be jealous of somebody.
You've got to be an object of the jealousy.
So, and you can be jealous of even people that you have a shared purpose with. So,
this is true.
Envy. Ooh, I love envy.
Whoa!
I just like the sound of the word envy. I don't know why. But you get the idea.
I got one.
What?
It's a long one. I'm thinking about the Constitution, the RICO stuff. Disenfranchisement.
Oh no! Oh yeah.
I don't know if I can spell it all, but I'm going to give it a shot.
You got to be franchised to feel disenfranchised. Meaning you got to be part of a group, to get disenfranchised from the group, right? That's a biggie when you feel like an outcast. What he's talking about is that tremendous fear we all have of being rejected, of being outcast. A big fear. We humans are social beings, and unless you're Jeremiah Johnson, which, by the way, that was a movie, it's really tough to make it all by yourself.
Yep.
You run out of food, and all kinds of bad stuff happens because the human biology is set up to be cooperative.
Run with the pack.
Right. So the penalty for being outcast is death. Is my point.
Yeah. Yeah, you cease to exist.
And that's what they used to do to people.
Throw you off the wall.
Yep.
Leave.
Now they had a modern version of that a couple of decades ago. You got tossed off the island.
Yeah, right. That's it. Right. Bye.
They got voted off the island. However, fortunately, those people just got to go home.
Yeah, probably collected a paycheck too on the way, I think.
They probably did. So you got that. And then there's the social yucky, the relief moves that you do. It's social. Avoidance is the most popular. Like, don't go.
Yeah, that'll do in a pinch.
You know, those wonderful meetings that you love to attend. and I mean those really, really dry bureaucratic ones that you get.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Here's our agenda. Oh.
I spent a career as a chief inside of a VA Veterans Affairs system. My God, I had my fill of meetings. One of the reasons I retired is I was just out of meetings.
Retirement is a relief move from meetings. I love it.
I can't go to any more of these damn meetings.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Let's put that down. Retire.
I can honestly, and Phil knows this is true. One of my
Me too. I was right behind him.
Retiring was.
I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm taking my toys and going home.
Yeah, I couldn't take it. Just so you know, if you're in a system like that, you start seeing the same stuff repeat itself like in 10-year patterns.
Yeah.
And so here you are, you've been there 30 years, and you're going, well, crap, this is the third time I've seen
Yeah. Different bodies, same moves.
like I don't want to do this
Uh,
anymore.
I know where this is going.
I, well, that's the problem. You know exactly where it's going. So, enough. Time for fresh blood. Get me out of here. So, but it's a relief move. The whole point being a relief move in it because of a social situation where I worked. Okay. And finally, in the upper right, so this is a very special case of the upper right. These are behaviors that are done specifically to accomplish the shared purpose. That's what they're for. If you're making widgets, it's who, you divide it up. It's division of labor. It's
Yeah. Who's going to do what?
who's going to do what when.
Yes.
And it's very, very important to, because at the end of the day, life does get concrete. Somebody needs to be chopping the wood. Somebody needs to be carrying
Yep.
the water.
Firing up the coals for the fire.
Yeah. I mean, there's stuff that's got to get done, and that's what it is. However, you don't want people just chaotically running around doing anything, because then you won't get the shared purpose done. And by the way, that's business consulting 101. Because in most businesses you walk into, and I've walked into a bunch of them, inside and outside of the VA and other places, and the number one problem is a poor sense or no sense of shared purpose.
They don't have a clue.
And if maybe they have they're hanging on to some old stuff that keeps the business sort of kind of running, but they're like, it's like a ghost ship. It's not.
Right. It's negotiating through the fog.
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight.
No.
And it's not fun to deal with. So there you go. If you see couples, if somebody here sees couples, well, with the couple, literally one of the first things you want to ask is, well, we need to talk about your shared purposes.
Yeah.
What are you doing together? I've done this a lot of times.
I do it all the time. What's your shared purpose as a couple?
And most of the time, half the time, a little more than half the time, they don't have a clue. I mean, it's not that they don't have them; they just can't articulate them.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
And then they get to talking about them, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There you go. But without that, and that's one of the values of human language, or at least human communication, is that you can get lined up on the shared purpose. So now the behaviors have a good chance of working to accomplish a shared purpose. Where if without the communication of the shared purpose, it's random, it's chaotic, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And of course, just like the previous one, everybody can do their best to notice all this stuff. Notice the shared purpose, notice the social yucky stuff, notice the social relief moves, and notice the shared purpose moves. Ta-da! And that's the 2 loops. Why do we do 2 loops? Because the first one is you're narcissistic, focused on yourself. Narcissism isn't something where you have it or you don't have it. Everybody has it. It's just how much.
Yeah.
How
matter of degree.
It's a matter of degree, right? So it's nobody is. Well, maybe if you're in a coma or something, but other than that, you got a little touch of narcissism.
Oh yeah. You want to ask somebody out for a date, you got to have a little bit of narcissism in you.
You've got to. I mean, it's just part of the deal. And so, but once it goes too far, then people start calling you a narcissist.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's not so. That's not.
Now
So.
you go, uh-oh.
So, but so that's it. You're looking at yourself. You're talking about yourself. Fine. But then you break off of that. It's like, oh yeah, there's other people.
Yeah, I see them. They're right here with me.
Right. I better pay attention to my impact on other people. And if you don't pay attention to your impact on other people, then those other people will be calling you a narcissist. They may be calling
They will call you out.
Yeah, they will call you other things too.
They'll point and go, narcissist.
And we've all known some
Yep.
people like that. You know, so that happens. But mostly people are only general run-of-the-mill narcissists. Just enough to get you dates and stuff. And we really want to cooperate with other people best we can. It's just we don't always communicate well about that.
Yeah.
So the two together, the first matrix and the second matrix, the me matrix and the we matrix, some people call. That's why we do both. Most of the time, we do both.
Yeah, pretty much all the time.
And it's one of those things where there's always an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
So I have had situations where I did one or the other.
Big one for me has been time, when you don't have time to do both of them.
And that's one of them. You just don't have time for both loops. And then you say, well, which loop is more appropriate for this limited time that I have available? And sometimes it's the me matrix.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the we matrix. And
you can always go back and show the other one if you're coming back, or if you're.
Now, with that said, usually we can do them fast, so we can do both. So why? Because now you're hitting the whole human. The me, the little more narcissistic, tingy side of humanness, but you're also doing the social side. So if you want to be kinder, the individual side and the social side. And it's both. They're both part. And then it's like, well, how does the me matrix interact with ProSocial matrix? Lots of room for discussion there.
Discovery.
And it's fun, and people get a lot out of it. So in sorting out the ProSocial matrix, that's what it is. The sorting out part is just a cute way of talking about it. I don't know. We just do both. Yeah. It's important to do.
Yeah.
And you'll do a lot of good for the world if you show people both of them.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, well, I'm thinking one of the ways that the sorting matrix, the sorting part of it come into play is after a group, or you've shown a group the ProSocial matrix, this baby could just be hanging out somewhere. And as you go along as a group, anybody can go, hey, wait a minute.
I think I've seen this somewhere.
Yeah. What we're doing right now, where is that up here on our ProSocial matrix?
He's being coy. One of the best examples of that is in the classroom.
Absolutely.
And so this has been done many times.
Oh my gosh.
So a teacher knows the matrix, knows the ProSocial matrix.
Run to the kids a little bit. They play with
run through with the kids, and you do the ProSocial matrix with the kids. And you ask the kids, and this is way cool because now you're into cooperative teaching, which is, what's our shared purpose? And you'll get great answers.
Oh yeah. I'll give them to you. Yeah.
I'm here at school so my dad doesn't beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm here because I got nowhere else to go. I've heard them say that too.
They feed me here.
I'm here for the meals. Yeah.
We don't have any food at home.
Yeah. I'm here for my friends.
There's all kinds of answers like that, folks. Yeah. And well, you know what? Because that kid arrived with that purpose, it's shared. It's shared.
It's in the room with you. It's shared.
Right. It's shared. And so you address it.
Yeah.
It's okay. You just address it. Somewhere along the line, the topic, like of the day or whatever, you need to learn math or English.
Yeah, like, well, why are we all here in this building? Of all the places we could be, we're here. My classroom.
Right. And finally, like, oh yeah, aren't you the English teacher? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I am. Well, we're probably here to learn that. Now, here's another thing, and Phil and many other teachers have taught me this. Even the most ne'er-do-well of kids want to learn how to read and write and do arithmetic.
Yep. Kids don't come to school to be illiterate. They don't.
The,
Even the worst one in the crowd that you can think of.
I mean, you're talking like Fonzie or or whatever.
Gang people. They're going to want to get somewhere in their life.
They want to know how to read and write.
And they know they need this stuff.
Yeah. And so the reason I say that, folks, is because they will say that. They'll go.
They absolutely will. I'm here to get credit. I'm here to graduate.
So they know.
Yep.
They know. And so you put it up on the board. This is the
all
point.
going up there.
Now, after a little while, because humans will be humans and kids will be kids, chaos will erupt.
Stuff goes awry.
Yeah. And now the thing is, everybody in the room has permission to say, hey, on the diagram up there, like, where are we? What are we doing? And everybody gets to pause and look. And go, what are we doing here? Right? What is our shared purpose? Yeah. Boom, you're back on. It's elegant and as wonderful as it gets, folks.
Yeah.
Because now you're not a teacher up there beating your fist on your desk.
Nope. You're free. As one teacher told me years ago, Phil, when I do this, I realize I'm free.
So can you take that into like a team meeting, staff meeting? Yes.
Check.
I have seen that done. And it's the very same thing of where people go, okay, we're doing all of this. How does it fit with that they'll call it that diagram or whatever that thing.
Our diagram, whatever.
Whatever they say. Yep. And now everybody realigns back on the shared purpose and what you're doing and da-da-da. And everybody can get back to home base again. But you're not having to be the enforcer.
There is no enforcer. It's the most amazing thing. You're not controlling. You're influencing. It's
way cool, folks. It's way cool. And that's why we teach this. But back again, those kids we were talking about, well, they also have the me, the narcissist. All that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that hasn't gone away. That's still there.
Hasn't gone away, so you can come back and talk about that too.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go back and talk about the we part. What are we doing together? How are we going to accomplish?
Put that up there too.
This is something Phil and I have learned through many, many years of doing this, that people love working together and accomplishing things together. It's amazing.
They love it.
The most ne'er-do-well folks you'd ever think in your life will come together and do something.
Oh, yeah. And they'll do this. And then you can even do way cool things like hand them the pen. Well, here, go put that up there. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
Really amazing.
Have fun.
It's really amazing the cooperation you can get out of people that you really didn't think would cooperate with each other.
All of a sudden, they're taking turns. You see them just take turns and say thank you and what? Where'd that come from?
So now, if you want to get technical about it, what's going on? these are words that you can put on what's happening,
Yeah.
but you're doing a massive shift of context.
Absolutely.
That's what. So ACT, if you go to the home side of all of ACT, it's contextual psychology,
Contextualbehavioralscience.org.
contextualbehavioralscience.org. That contextual on the front saying we shift the context to influence behaviors. That's what so you shift the context. Well, and one great is let's all, stop what we're doing right now and head for Disney World. That would be a major shift in our context.
It really would.
Yeah, like, whoa, that'll change our behavior.
That could work in a hurry.
Right. That'll change your behavior. Well, most of the time you can't do that. So instead, you can just put up a diagram, and that diagram, boom, shifts the context.
Just putting it up.
Boom. Just that fast. And people will continue coming back to it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really know why they'll continue coming back to it, but they will.
I think it's got something to do with its being very non-judgmental.
Oh, yeah, it's entirely possible.
I'm thinking particularly of the kids that I worked with.
No, they're sick and tired of being judged.
They're being told what to do from the time they wake up to the time they put their head down.
Now you've gotten them into a position where, like I'm participating in the running of this.
And you're asking me about my opinion about where stuff goes and what the shared purpose is. What?
But that's even on teams. So you switch from people are going, wow, you actually, you are actually listening to my input.
Yeah.
You're
writing it down too. Wow.
It's amazing because nobody has ever listened before. So people like that. They like it a lot. So sorting out the pro-social matrix is do both. Run both loops. Do the me, do the we, and it's a good thing. Now for certificates, we do a certification. People, oh my God, certification. Like we got somebody in Egypt interested in doing.
Yes.
Okay. And so you're like, well, what do you do? We listen carefully for how well someone can show the two loops.
This one and this one.
That's it. So, and you say, well, why is that important? Because you're setting a context, and you want to fluidly set the context, and you don't want to mess it up. And you can mess it up. You really can. You could say, I'm tired of starting in the lower right. I'm going to start by asking them what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
Let's do the lower. That's the lower left, by the way.
Yeah. Who wants to start?
Who wants to start? Tell us what's wrong with you. And well, that's just going to not work. Okay.
Nails on a chalkboard.
It's not going to work. So I understand that's an extreme example, but it's a very
that's questions asked in various and sundry ways every day in all places.
And we we literally are avoiding that context. That what is wrong with you context. We're avoiding that.
We're deliberately bypassing it.
Staying away. So that's what we mean, and that's what we do with certification. So you just practice well enough so that you're very fluid at it. You overlearn it.
Yeah.
Literally, the two loops, you become so facile that somebody could jostle you awake at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, do the two loops, and you could.
Sure.
And you would do it well.
Yeah.
That's what we mean.
Yeah. Where you can walk over there and show those guys the two loops. Okay.
But you get so facile at it that somebody says, this is the White House calling. We would like for you to come present the two loops to the president and his cabinet. And you go, okay. And why? Because you want to go show the two loops.
What you're going to do.
That's it. There's like, well, what if they ask this? Well, put it on the loops. It's no big deal. That's what we mean, that level of facile. Very. If you have that, it's cool. You can get that without certification,
Yeah,
folks.
you don't need the
But
certification.
if you want our stamp of approval, you need it for some business
Yeah,
reason.
some businesses and organizations have asked for that.
Right. We'll do that for you. We've
Well,
done it. Oh, well, we got a whole webpage full of them.
yes.
All around the world, people that have done that. So, and once again, we never would say that you have to have certification to do the matrix.
Nope.
Not saying that. We're just saying for some people it's handy to have the certification. So, but I didn't really mean to sell certification so much as is that's what we would be looking for. That you could just, it's almost like a sing song.
Yeah.
Who's important? Lucky stuff. Relief moves. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, you're singing. You're playing a tune.
Right. There's a tune to it. Right?
Yep.
And you don't have to be very musical, not like Phil.
It's just a few chords, as they say. You know.
Oh, I was watching June Carter play the other night on some. She'd been on Johnny Carson. Of course, and I'm watching her fingers.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, she's doing A, D, and E.
I was going to say 3 chords, right?
3 chords, A, D, and E.
3 chords.
They're just sounding. Of course, she was finger picking.
Yeah.
All she was finger picking over was 3 chords, and I can tell you the chords: A, D, and E. I can't remember the name, what it was, but anyway, she wrote it, but her husband Johnny Cash made it famous. But I don't think she held it against him. June Carter, she's a royalty, by the way.
Yes.
Royalty. The origins of all rock, blues, and rock and roll and everything go back to her family, her mother, father, and cousins and stuff. So, that family. So it's cool. But anyway, this is a 3-chord song or a 4-chord if you wanted it. That's it. Very simple. So do that. Go practice. Come back if you need to be certified. Contact us. Even better, click on the green button and go take a bunch of courses because it helps us out. We don't do this. It costs money to do this. To do what we do costs money.
Yeah. Capitalism, folks. That's the way it works.
It's capitalism is the way it works. And so if you can buy something, buy it. If you want to get certified, let us know. So we will keep coming back and doing these. Then we get to decide what we're going to do on Friday.
Oh, yes. Well.
Maybe we'll discuss the indictments or something. We'll do something.
Ooh.
Wade into troubled waters.
Yes.
It gets more YouTube views, but of course we could also, who knows?
Do something else.
We'll do something. We'll always.
Something will come to us. We'll be back here on Friday.
But this one was about, if you can, do both loops.
Yeah.
It's important. It's really important.
Especially right now.
Yes, because number one thing, from our humble opinion, in the United States, one problem, I'm sure it's worldwide, but let's say USA, is not clearly defined shared purpose.
Yeah. And then not coming back to it.
Right. It's like people are,
forget it.
They're just not talking about it.
No.
I'm not being pejorative and saying those are bad people. They don't know. No, it's just not.
They're not on it. They're just not on it at all.
The politicians of the day just are not having the voice, and I'm talking even like Joe Biden.
Yeah,
they're just not bringing folks together on shared purpose. I think would be one of the better things to do if you have a bully pulpit like that. But, now, don't worry. I'm not saying that the predecessor of Biden did that either. No,
yeah.
Either. So, as a matter of fact, Bibb had quite a few runs of that not being a priority.
They call it weak sauce, I would say, in the shared purpose.
Yeah, yeah, I would say
Weak sauce.
weak sauce. That's Italian, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Weak,
that
that person's got weak sauce.
weak sauce. I like that. Woohoo! You don't want that on your spaghetti.
No, doesn't taste good.
That watery sauce.
Nope.
Oh, so that's what we need: beefier sauce,
We need beefier sauce.
beefier shared purpose. So go out and beef
That
up the
shared
shared.
purpose. Mix it in there.
And we're serious, folks. In all seriousness, if you happen to listen to that, in the United States, the way they wrote it was our number one shared purpose is the Constitution and upholding the Constitution. You can
Right.
be any political party you want to
Yep.
be. That is fine. But the way it's written, they all support the Constitution.
Come back to this.
Right. Period. That's why you can have Republicans and Democrats and independents and whoever working together.
Differing opinions coming together. The shared purpose of upholding the Constitution.
The Constitution, right? At the end of the day. So that's what we do. We'll be back. We'll go do something.
Yep.
Oh, Phil's going to go
Ice
eat
cream.
the most important. That's like total upper right. Total.
Oh, absolutely.
Ice cream is one of the few things in the world that only exists in the upper right. Right.
It's a yummy.
It's a yummy move.
See
Bye bye, folks.
you, buddy. Have a good one.